say a big old thank you to the folks at the NRCAHA on behalf of the Roe Deer America Association in giving us the opportunity to bring you something a little bit different here. I want to introduce to you one of the finest cow dog trainers I know, and some would say in the country, Mr. Merle Newton, down on the arena floor, this horseback, and his dog SJ. This is all about what's called roe deer competition. Now, I don't know, well, I do know a lot of y'all are from out west and you know what a roe deer is, but for those of you that don't, a roe deer, it is a circling up, a gathering, going around of cattle. And that's what we start with in a roe deer. We hold up our cattle and we sort cattle out of there, and then we work them just like you would at home if you were horseback working with your dog. I know all of you do that. But we do it through a segment or a group of obstacles, okay? And the event itself is done, it is both scored and timed. So as we get ready to go, Earl, we've got a little abbreviated thing here tonight for our demonstration. The obstacle you see out in the middle of the pen is what we call a roundabout. And then the obstacle right down here by the outgate in the arena is called a T. And we start with a group of cattle. We'll sort cattle out of that group. And we have to do kind of an abbreviated, you'll have to use your imagination for this a little bit since we don't have a sort pen that we would normally start with. Typically, we've got a group of 20 or so head of cattle that we sort 5 head out of, and then we work those 5 head, negotiating them through these obstacles. The whole thing is set up so that typically it will have 5 or more obstacles in a course, and that is going to be set up so that hopefully there are no perfect scores. The object of a roe deer is not about who has the fastest horse, who has the toughest dog. It's all about stockmanship and cow savvy, how you handle your cattle. And those of you who ranch for a living, you know that when you're working your cattle, slower is faster. And that's what we're going to do here tonight. Now, Merle's got his cattle here in the pen. Can you talk to me, Merle?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Come here.
Yeah, I just thought maybe we'd explain the course a little bit to folks so they kind of know what we're trying to accomplish out here and how the scoring works. Just have to pretend that I'm a cow here. We get 1 point per cow for entering this obstacle. If a cow goes out this opening, she would be worth 2 points. If she goes out this opening, she'd be worth 3 points. 4 points, 5 points. I'll tell you, not a lot of people get that all the way around there. That's the whole idea, is to break up that score a little bit. So then, this T, I got some points already.
Yeah, you got a bunch of 4-pointers, Merle.
Okay, this obstacle we'd enter from this end, and if I'm able to turn my cows out the center of it here, I would get maximum points for doing so. If they run all the way through on me, I would still get points, but not as many points. Now, of course, Dennis, as you know, we always start with a sword. I think you mentioned that already. And we'd be sorting out of a pen. 20 or more head of cattle in there. We'd actually go in and pick our cattle out that we want and bring them out onto the course. So I'm going to attempt to just sort a little bit out here just to get started. We use all 5 head of cattle, but just a little bit about using the dog to sort here.
Well, thank you, Merle. Merle going to bring SJ in here and do his sort. I tell you all, the roe deer style cow dog competition began probably 25 years ago out in Southern Oregon with a longtime friend of mine by the name of Ambrose McCullough, who was the originator of the sport. He held the first roe deer competition on his ranch there in Southern Oregon, and actually Merle won that competition, and he's won quite a few since then. Now, Merle and his wife Sandy, who are the owners and proprietors of Crystal Rose Cow Dog College, now residents of Grand Saline, Texas, were originally from Northern California and moved down here just a couple years ago. They've chosen to kind of take up the banner with the Roe Deer Association and promote the sport down here in Texas. If you all like what you see here this evening and the way these dogs work and the way the cattle are handled, I would encourage you to check us out on the web at roedeeramerica.com.
Well, Dennis, I'm going to start with the tee down here on the end. See if I can get all my cattle to take that turn out of there. You fellas right there by the gate might have to back up just a little bit. Thank you.
SJ will come around here, see, he does just what he needs to do to move those cows in the right direction. Notice nothing gets too fast, nothing gets too hard. Again, as I mentioned just a minute ago, all these obstacles are scored. You get a certain number of points per head, per obstacle. And the course is also timed. Now, the timing portion of it is only to work as a tiebreaker. So if you get, say, for example, 2 perfect scores, then you would go to the time on those scores to find a winner. And that's kind of the way it's done.